And we are back at the studio. It's about time to show you guys how Dynamite is made with Mike Williams. So, yeah, let's dig into it. Hey guys, I know a lot of you are really interested to see how records are made. Now, my new song with Mike Williams and Amba is coming up. It might be a cool idea to dig into the process of making the song a little bit. So I'm going to try to show you a little bit how it's made and how it started and how it got to the place where it is now. So hopefully you like it. It's going to be live, I think, tomorrow. So you better be ready because it's coming for you. So welcome in the studio. This is my room here. And here's the project for the ones that have always been asking me if I make my own music. Well, usually I do, as you can see. So the entire project is actually quite large. It's more than 143 tracks, and that has a reason because there are so many effects in there. All the brown stuff here is all effects, and it's all little glitches, noises that make the track as characteristic as it is. I think the most powerful part of this song is really the intro. It just gives that vibe. So what are the synths that I'm using? Well, most of this is actually Anna, and it's quite an old synthesizer. It's not being used a lot, I think, these days anymore, but it's got some really cool sounds. So all those layers, they're all Anna, and just with some effects on it. There's one little spire here that's making, I think, the more churchy noise. Then the bass is just a few layers, and most of the times it's just very easy. This time it's Anna, but I usually use ES2 or ES1, just the one that creates the best sine wave that fits in best energy-wise. And then it's quite funny because neither Mike or me were planning to do triplets, and the song became a triplet song. If you hear this part. You can hear it's triplets playing, and if I dig into the layers of synths, as you can see, that's a whole lot of synths, and it has to do with Mike working a little bit less careful than I do. He just stacks layers on layers on layers, but I gotta say, he added some real dope ones, because let me see, I think he did the one that was by Vengeance. I'm not sure if, oh yeah, this one. But if you take the whole bus, now, it sounds pretty empty, obviously, but if I take the whole bus, as you can see, the bus has quite some effects on top of it, and most of that is because it's an automation that is ducking the volume at the end of one row. So there's an EQ, there's an enveloper to make sure that the attack was a little bit more aggressive. You can do that with multiple plugins, though. There are some equalizers, the glue that actually glues it together as a compressor. Oh, I have to still activate it, I see. LFO tool and gain to make sure that it works well together. And this is the master chain of the entire song. It's just an L, a Pro L, a C4, and a PSP good old vintage warmer. So not too much, guys. You don't need too much for a good sounding master. And let's dig into the secret of the kick drum. There's a plugin here that we recently started using. I think Mike came up with it. It is called Transgressor. And that's the only thing that's on my kick drum, really, next to an EQ that doesn't really do a lot, as you can see. Just add some midtones. So if I would play it without. Not sure if you can hear it on Instagram, but it just creates a whole bunch more punch. And the cool thing about this plugin is that you can set it up here the way you like it, how the transients being handled, and you can separate the top from the low end. So it's really something you want to check. It's called Transgressor by Buzz Audio. Yeah, so for the kick drum, it's mostly important that it's in the right key and that it just works well with the bass, because that's the thing that you get trouble with all the time. If those two things clinch, then you just don't get a really good mix. Also, I think it's cool to show a little bit how the piano is done in the break, because it started as just this. And the end of this little series here, the little score, that was Mike playing that, you know, we wanted to make sure that the song would progress from there. So that was real funny. So that would like sound like an end of that little piece of the song. And then there was also strings playing, and then you get this part. And then some fans asked what happened to the original vocal. Well, the original vocal was just this chopped up little vocal from an existing song that we couldn't use, actually. So then amazing Amba came around, and we instructed her how we wanted to have the melody. And then she changed the lyrics, which she's done really good. And we got back the vocal, and then we started working on it. And then it sounds like this with My Chain. And then, well, here's the second break with the vocal, and this is how it sounds like together with the vocal of Amba.